If you feel like you're showing up, you're doing everything that you need to do and it's still not working, this is the video for you. I'm answering a question for one of my clients this morning. She said, Pete, honest question, I'm showing up, I'm posting consistently, I'm reaching out, and I generally don't feel like I'm coming from a needy place, but sales still aren't happening. What am I missing? What shifted it for you, Pete? Anything you can suggest? So what I've done is what any responsible mentor would do is I've taken a page of notes and come back with a full answer for her. Also, I'm going to share it with you too, because I believe that she is not the only one who is struggling with feeling like you're doing everything right, but it still isn't converting the way that you want. So we're going to run through this now. I've got 5 areas just from this one question. I want you to comment below with which one of these steps, or if all of them relate to, and also this is important, what resonates with you. So without any delay, let's get into it. And by the way, if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you do. I talk about sales transformation, how you can build your business from your energy, from your energetics, because everything, the foundation of all of it is when you show up as the real you. We do deep work on this channel. Number 1, I like this whole thing. I'm not being needy. Well, non-neediness is the fundamental, right? That's the basics. It is your duty to show up and not be needy. I always say this to my clients, I'm going to share this with you now, that you're great at what you do, right? Okay, cool. In that case, if you're great at what you do, then you should be paid for what you do. It shouldn't feel like this surprise or not normal. We've got to normalize, I hate that terminology, but we've got to normalize being paid for the work that we do. So not being needy doesn't automatically mean that our business should succeed. And my client wasn't saying that, but we need to start here. This is the foundation, the energetics of everything. So not coming from a needy place is the floor, not the ceiling. And the absence of desperation doesn't automatically create magnetism. Remember, your work has to be magnetic. You must be magnetic. And you need to show up in your certainty. You're going to hear this throughout this whole video. Everything is about you showing up within your certainty, within your calm, and you operate from the highest level of your bliss. That means that when people come across your work, that there's something about you that's magnetic. So it's not just about being needy, it's about being magnetic. Point number 2, there's content that demonstrates, and I've been there, I've posted more content than anybody I've ever met in my life. Thousands of videos, tens of thousands of posts over the years, and I spent a lot of that time just posting value, demonstrating my expertise, trying to show the market, hey, I'm good enough to work with. And what I didn't realize is that energetically, that this was choose me energy, almost like inside out. There's choose me energy from a needy point of view, like, hey, pick me, why are you not working with me? But there's also choose me energy from the point of view that you are constantly posting to almost validate to your market that you're good enough to work with them. However, it's not about posting valuable content. It's about understanding that there's 3 R's of influence. And number 1 is reach. So what is your reach? Do you only influence 5 people? You've only got 5 followers, so therefore your reach is 5 people. We all have a net that we throw out. Where the mistake in thinking is, and I've seen this many, many times, we believe that our net isn't big enough. How do I get more leads? How do I impact more people? We look to influencers that have 10 million followers and we compare our business to their business. But first of all, what we need to understand is that reach is the least important part of influence. I work with influencers I'm working with one right now, he's got 1.6 or 1.7 million subscribers and followers across his social media platforms, and he was really struggling when I first started working with him. And we've narrowed it down to a much clearer offer for a small market, and he's starting to be profitable. So that links to what else I'm going to share. Equally, I'm working with a lady who does no social media. She consistently does 25 to 30,000 pounds, UK pounds, every single month, and has done that for 5+ years. So it's not necessarily about having 1 million followers, but reach is important. Obviously, the more reach you've got, the better. Most important is the next 2, and they all interlink together. The second R is relatability. So what you're sharing, does it relate to your market? So the reason why you're sticking around with this video is because what I'm sharing will relate to your business. So right now in your business, everything I'm sharing, or at least a percentage of it, you're like, yeah, this makes sense. But again, it's not the most important thing. That is very much a baseline of where you need to be. The most important is number 3. Does it resonate? And this is why I ask my clients again and again, when I'm talking a lot and I say, hey, does this resonate? I'm going to ask you right now, what I'm sharing, does it resonate with you? And I want you to comment below and say resonate if what I'm sharing resonates with you. So your reach is important, but not as important as we think. What you talk about does need to relate to the people that you help, but fundamentally, does the work that you deliver and how you show up, is your work resonating in how you show up? Number 3, reaching out isn't enough. So one thing that my client said is, I'm reaching out, and I had to go back and ask some more specific questions. I said, well, who are you reaching out to? What's the offer? What does it look like? And there's a big difference between connection and invitation. Remember, business goes where it's invited and it stays where it's looked after. One of the biggest reasons why I see business owners struggle, whether they've got a face-to-face business like a beauty salon or they're online coach or consultant, is predominantly because they're not making enough invitations. If you're having a dinner party, then you don't invite anybody, then nobody's going to show up to your dinner party. You need to let people know, hey, I'm having this dinner party. This is the number of seats I've got around the table. There's 5 seats available. There's a big dinner party. There's going to be 100 people at this thing. So you need to state very clearly who you're inviting, why you're inviting them, and how many places are available. So I did talk to her about this and said, look, if you're going to influence, the conversation has to move forward. In spin selling, which is a methodology of sales, there's one thing that is shared which I really like, and it's the difference between continuations versus advancements. Most salespeople, they talk in continuations. So in other words, they're arranging coffee meetings and things don't really move forward, and every conversation is just a continuation of the previous conversation. Advancements are a lead becoming a hot lead. So they're moving from an inquiry and then they're saying, can we have a meeting? And then from a meeting to a proposal, and then from a proposal to a final meeting with the decision maker. Every conversation, or within reasons, there's advancements along the way. So think about your business right now, and if I was to audit your business, for example, I would look at where the conversations that you're having, because more conversations are always good, but the quality of those conversations, and not in terms of what you're saying, but more so, is the conversation moving forward? Are you getting stuck coaching a potential client where really you should be inviting to the next step with you? So reaching out isn't enough. It's about the advancements and the invitation for the next step. Point number 4, the offer and the audience. You can have the exact right offer, but for the wrong people, and you're going to struggle. And this happened to me far too much at the beginning. The first couple of years, I'm going way back to 15 plus years ago now, I would sell to anyone. I stood outside a tube station in Highgate, London, and I was handing out flyers to attend I'm serious, I was handing out flyers to attend my sales training on the weekend. And as you can imagine, nobody was interested. And on top of that, they tried to they tried to fine me for £2,000 or something. And I'm just like, no, I'll just stop doing it. I learned I had to be very specific about who I'm helping, and the more specific you can be, the better, because it's going to be the right offer for the right person. But do not invent problems. This is what I see again and again, is that we try and be creative, and sometimes a boring business is the best business. So by actually knowing who you help, so choosing an audience clearly, and not having a niche statement, like a real problem that you solve, something that they already have. Remember that general transformation creates general interest. You've got to be specific. The more specific you are, the more it's going to create urgency. So for me, sales energetics works so well because it is a very tangible problem that business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, they want to transform their sales, but they don't want to do it in a cringe way. They don't want to, a lot of the traditional sales training they're not interested in. They're more esoteric, let's say that, and they're more into the energetics, and they believe already in the principles that you can only sell from who you are. You don't want to be faking it, and you want to sell from your energy, that your clients don't buy your product, they buy into you as a person, they buy into your energy. Watching this right now, it's not the content that I'm sharing, it's you're buying into my energy. You can be doing all the right things, but it's not about doing the right things, it's about making sure what we're doing truly resonates and we're able to show up in our authority and solve a specific problem. And that leads me to number 5, not feeling needy is not the same as feeling certain. Yeah, there's a version of you that's like, I'm not needy, and that's just the minimum. Once again, you've got to really watch how you're coming across and pay attention to yourself. I always say that there's your public image, and that's the image that we portray to the world, but it's your private image that truly matters. So who you are when nobody's watching, and that energetic leakage if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not doing the things in the background, because your client is you. You only meet you in this world. Your client is a perfect reflection of you. If your clients are ghosting you, you've got to look at where you're ghosting yourself. If your clients are giving you objections, then you've got to ask, well, where am I being cheap, or where am I objecting in life and business? So real certainty looks different, when you're so focused on the person in front of you that there's no room for self-doubt. This is what I teach to my clients. I say, look, you have to be in a position where you solve all of your problems because you're so focused on being present with the market that you help, the clients in front of you, and you just love the work. Like I love I'm here on a weekend right now because I love the work, and my business has always found a way 15 plus years. Not because I'm great at what I do, but I think I just love what I do. I'm just obsessed with it in a good way. So that makes a difference. So the shift isn't about doing more. And I think a lot of people, when they go, I'm doing everything right, why is it not working? You're not going to find the answer by doing more. It's getting more precise, yeah? Solve a specific problem for a specific kind of person that they see valuable and they're willing to pay for. Don't invent problems. Don't be afraid to show up within your magnetism. Right? What makes you magnetic? What makes you different to everybody out there? And don't overthink it. It's something that you're already doing. It's a natural part of who you already are. That's my message today. So drop a comment below with what has resonated for you, and I'll be checking all the comments as well. And if you're not in my free community yet, I have a free community where I talk about all this stuff in a lot more depth, and you want to be a part of the energy, everything we're doing, you'll see the link below. You can join my community for free. Okay, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one.